That's one of the reasons my self-worth has grown a lot, is because I do feel seen the majority of the time. If you think about it, if I have 8 calls in a day, 5 of those are coaching calls or being on other shows. So I feel very, very seen, more seen than I ever have.
Everyone listening, I know you can relate to feeling unseen. Maybe you're a parent and people who aren't parents are giving you advice. You know, maybe you're wealthy but no one knows it. Maybe you have unbelievable acumen in something that no one gives you credit for.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was episode number 1,373, overly abundant versus overly scarce. We talked about your relationship with money. Today, for episode number 1,374, one thing so many of us want but aren't getting. First of all, shout out to my wife for getting me this mug. It has a picture of Ace and Fudge, and I drink my coffee out of it. Zoom in on it. Well, it's kind of out of focus. Just want to throw that out there. I also have a cat shirt on. It says Cat Daddies.
What does it say?
Cat Daddies are the real baddies. So,
facts are facts.
It was Father's Day the other day. So,
Father's Day.
Yep. So, just shout out to my wonderful wife, Taryn. So, I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, and we were trying to make plans. Alan, you know how that is. It can be very challenging based on the schedules and what's going on and all that happy jazz.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, obviously, I either got Friday or Saturday. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I'll ever have, most likely. Not doing much during the week. Friday or Saturday. What are your thoughts? And he said, Friday would work best for me. And I said, interesting. My last call doesn't finish until I think 6:30. I wouldn't be down there till probably 8 o'clock. My first call is 10 a.m. on Saturday, so it's gonna be a rough one for me. I said Saturday night though for me, you know, I don't work super late on Saturday. We have family stuff on Saturday, so I'm gonna be at Taryn's aunt's house. I could buzz down maybe after that. Probably get to you about 5:30, 6. What are your thoughts? And he said, well, I have baseball on Sunday. I probably won't be able to stay up super late, so let me get back to you. And I was like, this weekend is probably going to be a wash. And then he sends me a message and he said, all right, man, I understand. Let's do this. Let's have you come down Saturday. He said, I realize Friday for you is packed. Obviously, I don't want you missing out on any of the business growth. Yeah, you could do calls here, but you're not going to have your studio, so it's not going to be a good look. I think Saturday is probably best. I'll just bite the bullet. I'll suffer through it. I understand how important the Friday is for you. And I was thinking to myself, I feel so seen by my buddy in this. Like, I feel understood. I feel supported. I feel like him and I are on the same page. Though one of the things that I think all of us want as human beings that we're not getting, potentially, is to be seen, to be understood, to be supported, to feel like somebody actually gets you. And I felt very, very seen in that moment. Alan and I had a conversation either on the podcast or behind the scenes last week, and he said the same thing. He said, I feel so seen right now. I actually did a Instagram reel on this because I think a lot of us are looking for this. A couple questions before Alan goes. First, what does being seen feel like to you? What does it mean? What are the emotions that you have attached to it? When does it happen? When does it not happen? When is the last time you actually felt seen? And who was it by? I think that's an important thing. And if you feel a lack of that, how do you communicate that to the people around you? What is one small thing you could start doing that would help people understand that you don't feel seen? Because this is the thing. Oftentimes, you don't feel seen until you either communicate it or somebody goes and tries to do something that you're doing. One of the things about Alan and I is I feel very seen as a podcaster because I know Alan does as many episodes as I do. Right? When it comes to fitness, we feel seen because I know what it's like trying to stay in shape and grow the business. It's very easy for us to get along because we feel very seen with each other. Now, there are certain things I don't understand about Alan. There are certain things he doesn't understand about me fully, but we're always trying to do our best to make sure the other person is feeling seen. And Alan asked me today, he literally said, do you feel fully expressed? After one of our business conversations. And I said, yeah, we're good. Let's go record some episodes. So I understand not everybody has the privilege of having people in their lives who ask them that? Do you feel fully expressed? Do you feel seen? Yes. Go on.
I know what it's like
to not be able
have
to speak.
an epic monologue and to fumble right at the goal line.
So close.
So close. You almost had it. Better luck next time.
Thank you, friend.
I don't think I ever really fully understood how unseen I've felt. You interviewed me a couple weeks back, and you've done it a couple times, so not this past one, but the one before that. And you said something along the lines of a question like, what didn't you understand about yourself back then that you now understand? And I think I said that I'm deeply fearful. Because I never felt afraid of the same things. So, like, I'm not afraid of planes. I'm not afraid of certain things that other people are really quite scared of. And sometimes to a detriment. But that doesn't mean I'm not fearful. And so while you can't relate maybe to what I'm afraid of, you can probably relate to being afraid. But there's layers of relatability. So, for example, I have one client. Shout out to this client. You will know who you are when I talk about you. She is aspiring to be a world-class fitness competitor. And I feel very seen by her. Let me explain why. She's shooting for the top of 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 that industry. And so I just feel very seen by her because the amount of dedication and standards that requires inside of you and the struggles that come with that are like insane. And I can just tell that she gets me more than most people do. She just gets it. It's kind of like another thing that will land. We have a lot of mothers that listen. If Kevin and I, you kind of know. We don't really know. You're a cat dad, man, but that's nothing compared to what, parents go through. And I'm a cat dad now, so I now understand. When your cats had ringworm, Tariel is literally there's a bathroom right next to my office, and she got spayed 4 days ago, and she's got a full cone on, and we're in there every couple hours checking on her. It's a whole thing, but it's nothing compared to, I'm sure, what being a parent is. And so if you're a mother, you probably feel seen with the challenges of being a mother by other mothers. And one of the things that's been really cool for Kevin and I is that we have a lot of women listeners, and even though we can't fully understand some of the challenges you have, at least we don't pretend we do. At least we're trying not to. It's like, what episode did we do recently? Oh, we did an episode recently about fitness. What does it mean to you? Body image, self-esteem. And we just kind of owned, like, listen, I don't know really what the experience is for a woman where most of society is looking at that as your value. And we have team members on the NLU team that they're like blown away by how much I see their value into the future, because in their mind, they're like, my value goes down over time because I'm a woman and my value is tied to my looks. And they literally have said behind the scenes, Alan, thank you so much for not looking at that. Your looks have that's not what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Like, you're very beautiful. That's great, but I don't care, And so the point that I'm trying to make here is that I think all of us want to feel seen, and I don't think I understood how unseen I felt, especially growing up. And I'll just share this vulnerably, I had huge dreams, and I wasn't just saying it. I really meant it. And I don't think I ever really felt fully understood or seen or valued for that. And honestly, this is the very hard truth of it. If you aren't actually shooting for the top of 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 whatever it is, you really don't fully understand what it's like. I've never played professional football, so I have no idea what it's like to be a professional football player and the injuries but I do know what it's like to shoot for something that's very statistically uncommon. And so I can relate to certain people And I just think that landed for me, honestly, more now than ever.
It's challenging because it's almost like if you think about it from, say, you're 18 years old listening to this, if you don't start communicating your lack of feeling seen, it almost gets harder because the contrast between who you are today and who you're going to be in 5 years has already started. That's a very, very interesting thing. In the very beginning, I did not feel seen by a lot of people because you and I are starting a podcast and we're trying to grow a business, and we look like losers in the beginning for sure.
Oh, yeah,
and I never
brutal.
really, right? I never really felt seen because most people didn't understand.
Oh, you started a podcast. That's cute.
Yeah. We got that a lot. And again, here's the thing. Now I understand. I understand why people thought that. But now here's the beautiful thing. When I work with my podcast clients, I feel very seen. And I know they do too.
Yeah.
Like everything you're going to see, I've already seen for the most part. Obviously, circumstantially, right? Things are different. But I don't ever want you not to feel seen. We have a new team member that we brought on recently. And she said to me behind the scenes on our little onboarding call, she said, it's been interesting to have so many people pour into me at once. She said, it's been a little overwhelming, honestly. And it's like, yeah, no, I understand. You're going to be very, very seen here. Everybody's going to see you and try to learn more about you so you can be even more seen.
And more importantly, when we can't see you, we're going to just own that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like she's a mother, she has a daughter. I'm not going to pretend that I see you there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's another layer of support.
Mm.
Like Emilia, for example, when she got off birth control and she was going through the bodily changes that bringing her cycle back and all that kind of stuff, it's like I didn't try to pretend that I understood. Like I would just be there and empathize, and honestly, I would just say, like, I have no clue what that must be like, but that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
And I think she appreciated that a lot more than like the placating of, oh yeah, well, you've never been kicked in the nuts. So it's like, that crap, like people do that.
Yeah.
I think that there's support and seen, I think, are actually connected too. I wanted to bring this distinction to the table. If you don't feel seen and understood, you probably can't really feel supported. And honestly, if I don't see you and I don't understand you, how can I support you? And what I think gets us is when Kev, you've had someone think they see you.
Mm.
One of my favorite things in the entire world.
Oh, no.
I know.
Isn't it interesting how I know exactly what you're going to say based on just the fact that you said that?
Of course you do. One of my favorite things in the whole world is watching someone try to coach Kevin when Kevin's leagues ahead of that person. Because he feels so unseen. And it's so fascinating to witness because honestly, I feel seen in that. Yeah. Kev, how many people have you witnessed try to coach me where it's like, listen.
Many.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's like you see me as this prepubescent little boy who is helpless and vulnerable. Listen, that ain't the truth here, right? Do not try to coach me in these capacities, right? So I love when I witness this happen to Kev because Kev is much more than most people know, quite frankly. I mean, he's a lot more than meets the eye now, more than anyone can possibly know, honestly, unless you see it on a day-to-day basis. I'm the one who sees it, okay? But when you walk into a room, no one knows that. They see, fun, humorous Kevin, who's, Kev, relatable, likable, right? They don't see world-class podcasting, never misses a day, had surgery and still recorded and didn't miss a moment, never mind take a day off. They don't see that, right? I do. And so they just don't see you accurately. So you feel so unseen. And you trying to level set that in the moment is my favorite thing because there's nothing you can do. It's basically like, Kev, this is Kev. This is my impression. No, well, I didn't have a father, but I dealt with that and I did therapy. I appreciate it, but I'm good.
That's pretty
hilarious.
That was pretty much spot on.
It's so fun for me.
It's just so hard it's so hard to communicate that.
My name is Alex, and I am a professional videographer who runs a production company out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. The one thing that I love about working with Alan is that right away he was able to come in and set up a system for me that makes sure that I am taking charge of my time and I'm taking the actionable steps that I need in order to progress towards my goals on a day-to-day basis. When I get off the phone with him, I always find that I am energized and I am getting the most out of what I do with my time.
We went to something recently, and we weren't there to be coached. We were there. I don't want to be super specific because I want to respect all parties, but we went to see somebody recently, and there was like a mastermind, and the person we went to see was like, "Do you want to be part of the mastermind?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Why not? We're going to kill some hours anyway." And it just was very clear the person who was leading the mastermind did not have the amount of experience we have. That's all.
Yeah.
And they basically said, "What are you here for?" And I was like, "Well, we're here to interview someone." And they're like, "What are you at the mastermind for?" It's like, "We're just kind of killing time." And they're like, "Well, what's your biggest struggle?" And it's like, nah, okay. I don't know. Nothing. I don't think anything you can really help me. I don't want to be egotistical.
I love it. This is the energy. This is it.
And this is the interesting thing. We're more successful in business than you, right? Our goals are much bigger than yours. We're more consistent than you based on what I just heard you struggling with. Again, nothing wrong with it. I have empathy, but like you can't coach me on this. You can't coach me on this. We do masterminds all the time. We have group coaching. We have clients, but you don't know that.
No wonder why you want a BMW, man.
No, that's one of the reasons.
Because people can actually see you.
It's very uncomfortable.
Accurately. Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
And hopefully everyone listening, my point of that was not to build Kevin up or me.
I'm all for it.
But it is true. I do witness it, and it's fascinating,
Yeah.
But for the listeners, hopefully you're relating to when you don't feel seen. Because it's like, listen, that's not why we're here. And the fact that you think you can coach me in business is alarming. Like, what am I missing? And what do you do? What do you say? Like, I'm way ahead of you? Like, how do you not come off arrogant in that regard, right? Because it's not like you can see our result. It's not like we can compare profit and loss statements here, So, and even that, it's just one of those things. So hopefully everyone listening, I know you can relate to feeling unseen. Maybe you're a parent and people who aren't parents are giving you advice. Maybe you're wealthy, but no one knows it. Maybe you have unbelievable acumen in something that no one gives you credit for. And, just because you don't have a PhD doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about in fitness or nutrition or whatever. So at the end of the day, value is contextual. I know for a fact you've felt undervalued at times if you're listening to this show. And hopefully you can put yourself more in situations and with people who see you, and if they don't, at least they own that. And I'm getting better at that too, because I used to not empathize well with people who struggle with self-belief because I didn't know how hard that must be. And I think now I'm much more conscious of like, oh, okay, so if that's your struggle, a lot of what I say will probably come off not useful to you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Alan has switched his delivery. I used to know exactly when he was finished his statement. Now I'm working my way back to relearning it. One of the reasons, if you've noticed me, Alan, I'm sure you have, but if you watch or listen, my self-worth has changed a lot over the last probably year. Obviously the last 6 years, but really the last year. One of the reasons is I'm spending a lot more time with podcasters. Whether it's being on podcasts or coaching podcasters, I feel very seen. And something very interesting has happened. In the very beginning, when I was trying to offer people free calls, a free podcast breakthrough session, a lot of people just weren't taking them. Now, it almost happens immediately when I say, hey, I'd love to offer you a free coaching session. It's free. I'm not going to sell you anything. I just want to add value. People are doing it. So I feel seen as a podcast guy now too. That's one of the reasons I'm more confident. That's one of the reasons my self-worth has grown a lot, is because I do feel seen the majority of the time. If you think about it, if I have 8 calls in a day, 5 of those are coaching calls or being on other shows. So I feel very, very seen, more seen than I ever have. And that adds up. That adds up over time. Now, the question for you, if you're out there, for me, it's easy, right? Surround myself with people who do stuff similar to what I do. Pretty simple: podcasting, business, entrepreneurship, coaching. I'm going to be fine. For you, what is it? Is it a partner who doesn't understand maybe what it's like to stay at home with the kids, or what it's like to leave and come home later? What is that? How do you express that? Or is it a vulnerable conversation? Is it leaving little breadcrumbs? Your communication style obviously is going to differ from mine. Okay. Do you feel seen at work, at your occupation? Do you feel seen in your friend group? Right? That is, it's belonging. That's what we all want. We all want to feel like we belong. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel like we're on the same page. One of my favorite things in the world is when people I know start podcasts, because I know they're going to see me. They're going to see me.
Don't they flip the way they see you?
For sure. Understandable.
When you're a podcaster and then you hear that we do 7 episodes a week, you have a whole different view of us.
Yeah. Or fitness.
Or
anything fitness related. It's like, oh my goodness, I just started dieting, or I want to lose X amount of pounds or gain X amount of pounds.
Yep. When you say like I bench pressed 75s on incline for 10, clean. You know that I know what that is. Now that's nothing crazy to a strength power lifter, but that's pretty impressive to the normal, to anyone who's normal or average or statistically average. This feeling seen, feeling understood, and feeling valued are the same. And belonging is, there's got to be an equation there of like feeling seen, feeling understood, and feeling valued. Belonging is in the center. I love triads, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, of course.
That's a really good one.
You throw my name on there?
Of course.
Half credit.
Do you also love triads so I can feel like I belong?
You do belong, but I do not like triangles and triads and frameworks and squares and circles and all the stuff you like as much as you do. No.
Last observation.
Okay.
I coach couples all the time now, which is the coolest thing in the world. One thing that I've found very fascinating. So I coach heterosexual couples and homosexual couples. And one thing that I've found very fascinating is that homosexual couples, based on my data brain, feel much more seen. It's fascinating, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
A woman and a woman deal with similar things. Society views women differently than men, and vice versa. And it's been fascinating for me to witness that if belonging is what you crave at the deepest level, I do think that's an unconscious driver of homosexuality. And I don't have a ton of research. I'm not like a scientist who's researching this behind the scenes. I just coach a lot of people and I make a lot of observations. That's been really cool to see. And I'm all for it too, by the way. Like, if you want to be a homosexual couple, like I think it's actually positive. I think it can be very positive. And is that the right term, by the way, Kev?
I believe
heterosexual versus homosexual?
I don't know if it would be like opposite sex, same sex.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the verbiage.
All right. I don't know the verbiage well. Here's what I will say. I apologize if I messed the verbiage up. Same-sex couples, I have noticed a drastic increase in the sense of belonging. That I will say. And I think they just feel seen and more understood because they're the same sex. They have more in common, and that's been fascinating to witness.
Makes sense. I was looking it up, but I'll look it up after, and then you and I will have a deeper understanding for the next episode. Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, a lot of us feel like outsiders in our lives. And think about it. That's why probably, I would guess, athletes date a lot of athletes, actors and actresses date a lot of actors and actresses because you feel seen. You can understand. Imagine being, I saw something, I heard something about some very famous pop star whose partner was struggling to date them because they were sick of them being on the road so much. It's like, look, that's kind of what you signed up for. So I bet you neither of those people feel seen. I want you to stay home and spend time with me. I want to go out and do my thing and add value to the world and entertain the world. Neither of those people feel seen. Most likely that relationship is not going to last.
Yep.
I would say that's a really good indicator of whether or not a relationship is going to last.
Agreed. I have to write that triangle down.
You're going to do it right now.
Because we're gonna teach. Of course I am. We're gonna teach that at relationship talks, conscious couples.
Look at that.
So what was it? It was seen, understood, valued, and then belonging is the center.
Look at that. Live on the podcast, a new framework has been created. What will it be called?
The triad of belonging.
Of course. Simple, yet profound.
Thank you, brother. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I know, I'm serious.
But I feel
real.
seen, even if it's pretend.
Good. See, look at that. Well done. If you're looking for something profound in your life,
tell them.
And you're looking to get to the next level, whatever that next level is, life, love, health, wealth, any of them, all of them. July 11th, 2023, 1 week after the 4th of July, if you're in the U.S. and you celebrate that, we are starting our 11th round of group coaching. So at the end of the day, maybe you're looking for belonging. We can help you feel that. You're going to be around people who want to grow. And I said this to this new team member. I said, look, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations are never going to be too big, ever, on this team. It's not possible. Because I'm guessing Alan and I's are probably larger than yours. If they're not, more power to you. But usually they
inspire us.
Yeah, and then you'll inspire us. Group coaching is designed for this. It's designed for you to finally feel like you fit in. Well, I'm not talking about group coaching, am I? Yeah, I'm talking about group coaching. It's, I know we have the meetup on July 6th as well. But that's why we designed it. Alan and I didn't always feel like we had people in our lives who understood us, and we created group coaching for that reason. If you're interested, with a discount code, 30% discount code will give you, it ends up being $96.60 per month. So just reach out to us, Kevin at nextleveluniverse.com, Alan at nextleveluniverse.com. And what I am talking about is group coaching.
Excellent work.
Thank you so much.
Excellent work. So if you go to the website, the link will be in the show notes. There's something that I do called Next Level Business Consulting that I don't talk about enough, but this is the very first 3 sentences on the website. I'm just going to read them. Have you always dreamt of starting your own business? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to help people in a way that's sustainable
Yes.
and profitable?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Both of them.
Third one. Ready? Next Level Business Consulting is for passionate people who want to help others, but they do not yet know how to build an actual business. If that describes you, please reach out. I've helped so many people start businesses. If you have a big dream, underneath that is most likely starting your own business or your own charity or your own nonprofit, which, by the way you run those 3 things is very, very similar. So if you need help, please reach out. I can promise you as a business consultant, it is more affordable than anything you'll find in the market.
It's wildly affordable based on the value you'll get.
Thank you, brother.
I am biased, though, because you're my business partner. But I think it's good.
And your business consultant. Yeah.
And my business consultant. I've also been coached by other business owners, and let me tell you, it wasn't always great. Let me see how much I can butcher this outro. You ready? Okay. Tomorrow, for episode number 1375, are you on track or off track? I believe as of the launch date of that episode, there'll be 192 days left in the year. So we're almost halfway through the year, which is wild to think of. Have you checked in on that? Are you close to where you should be? Are you way behind? Do you even know? We're going to talk about that for next episode. As
I'm
always,
excited for that one.
I'm excited for that one as well. Do I know what I'm going to say? Not really. Will we figure it out? I sure hope so. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep showing the world who you are so you can be seen. Next Level Nation.